Hey guys, so I wanted to show you the technique that I kind of figured out. It's nothing special, just kind of what works for me. So you can try it out and see if it works for you. So to get into it, what you want to do is when you're learning something new like React, you want to go to the documentation if there is a documentation. If you're learning something like JavaScript, then you just go to W3 Schools or a site like it, and you want to get the concepts right. If you're just starting out with programming, then I gave you that list of things to learn. You could just go to C Sharp, learn the programming concepts, or you could do Java, it doesn't matter. It's all the same stuff. You learn the programming concepts, and what you do is you kind of, for example, you take data types, or for example, you take, let's pick something a little more harder. Okay, we take arrays, right? We're learning arrays. What we do is we open up a Java online editor so that you can start practicing this stuff immediately. So you open up an editor and then you just go back, you read it, you try to understand it. If something doesn't make sense, you type in the problem. So let's say you're learning Java, right, and you don't understand this part right here. So you understand that it's making a list of numbers called my num, but you don't understand like what this whole curly brace thing is. What you could do is you could go and type Java array and then just type blog. So blogs is going to bring up written tutorials by people that'll kind of help you with stuff, and sometimes they'll put it in a more simple way so that you can understand it pretty quickly. So let's go to a different blog here. So you got this one, you can kind of read through it. They'll have some examples. If that's not doing it for you, you just go to a different blog. They'll give some really good examples. You get really deep knowledge. And why I say to learn the programming concepts with C Sharp and then learn JavaScript, through JavaScript, is because if you learn Java or C Sharp first before you jump into JavaScript, you're gonna have a super deep understanding. And why JavaScript is so hard to learn sometimes is that JavaScript hides some stuff, right? So here you check out the array, you see that it's just a list, you kind of read it. If this is too hard, if Java or C Sharp's too hard, then just jump over to Python. And if you jump over to Python, you go to W3 Schools and you go to lists. Python will simplify lists, right? But because it's simplified, it hides a lot of details. So sometimes it's easy to learn at first, but then if you want more control, then that's when you want to know the details. So if something's too hard or not really making sense, don't waste time on it. Jump over to Python, kind of learn the concept like list or arrays, and then jump back into it, right? So you just if you look at the thing that I popped up here, or the thing that I uploaded into the Discord, I put the concepts, and you just want to blast through those concepts and get through them pretty quickly. So over here, you want to just like blast through and understand arrays and lists pretty quickly. You don't want to waste time on it, right? Practice it, and then jump over to JavaScript and start killing JavaScript, right? So let's say you trying to learn list, right? And you're learning it in Java like I was talking about before. You hop over to a Java compiler, and you kind of figure out what you got to do. You just copy the code, you go to the Java editor, and then you try to run the code, right? So where's the run button? Execute. And then if you don't have any problems, then it works, right? And then what you could do is you could try to print it to the screen, system.out. Now, I forgot what to type to print something to the screen. So this is a good example. You don't know what to do, you type Java, print to screen, you click on something, right? You click on anything, and they'll show you how to print the screen. You copy the code, and then you come back to the editor, and then boom, now you know how to print to the screen, right? Then you take your values and you try to print it to the screen. You click execute, and it prints to the screen, but it does something weird. So then you Google it. You type in Java array print to the screen, right? And this is how you are gonna solve a lot of your problems. You're gonna kind of take it step by step, Google it, and then right here they say, hey, in order to print to the screen, you need this toString. So you need to make it a string in order to print it to the screen. So then you do that, and then you execute again, and it still doesn't work. So then you go back to the Stack Overflow, you look, you see, okay, oh, I have to use arrays. That's kind of dumb, right? So then you come back over here, you put it back in, and then you put your array in. And now it should work. You execute, and now you get an error. Good night. So then you look, and it's kind of like that. So then you figure out what to do, right? And you figure out what these errors means. You read the errors. You take time to read the errors. They say cannot find symbol arrays, right? So what that's saying is that it doesn't know what you're talking about when you say arrays. So you probably have to like import it or something dumb, right? So, and as you can see, the person says you have to import it, right? So you go back to the compiler, you go and put it at the top, you import arrays, you execute, and now it works. Look at that. Now you have your list printed to the screen. So this is how you're gonna learn. So now you just learned in a couple minutes how to print to the screen and how to make a list print to the screen, right? You kind of learn what a list is. You can put values in there, right? So you go back and forth between Stack Overflow. You go back and forth between blogs. And then if you need extra help, you can go to YouTube. So if you go to YouTube, you just type Java arrays, and you'll have a video of someone explaining the arrays, and that might be quick too, right? So what you're doing is you pick a single goal, a single fixation, a single thing, and you're killing it, you're hammering it, right? And you're using all of the resources, not just sitting and watching videos, but you're using all the resources so that you can solve that problem, so that you can know what to do, right? So that's how you're going to learn the programming concepts. So in order to learn JavaScript, you just, same thing, you come to W3 schools, you learn the concepts, you go to a JavaScript editor, so you just go and type in JavaScript editor. You type in JavaScript editor, online editor, and then you open it up and you start writing JavaScript. You start practicing. So when you open this up, you like, okay, I don't know what error functions are. How do I do that? You just copy the code, you look at it, you try to understand it, you read about it, you come into the editor and you paste it in, and they said hello is not defined, so you realize you gotta make it a variable, and now your code works. So you can console.log it to the screen and see that it's a function, because it'll literally show you the function, right? So this is how you're gonna learn JavaScript. This is how you're gonna learn programming, and this is how you're gonna learn React. So you come over here, you go to W3 schools, you come to React, you're like, okay, I gotta learn props for React. What is this stuff? You come here and then you type in React editor. You're gonna come to Code Sandbox or whatever. You click React. It's gonna start a React project for you. And then now you can start practicing React. So then you're like, okay, let me practice this prop stuff. So then you type in props right here, and then you realize, okay, you can do interpolation, props.name, and then now you like, okay, but hold on, I need to pass this prop from the outside name. You pass in a string, Jack, and then you like, okay, cool. You save your file. How do you save your file on these things? I guess it doesn't matter. I think it saves automatically. But then here we go. You have your dynamic data, and you literally just learn props in what, a couple minutes, right? So this is how you learn React. This is how you learn props. You just have to. This is how you learn programming, JavaScript. You just have to figure out what the problem is, what's the concept. Open up an online editor, practice it. If you need it, look up Stack Overflow. Look up the documentation for the technology. Look up blogs. Google it, YouTube it, and just focus on that one thing until you hammer it, right? So I think that's pretty much it. I sent this little piece of PDF showing you the outline of everything, and I put the steps in there as well. And if you need any help, just let me know. But like I said, pick a single concept or thing, watch a quick tutorial on it if you have to. If you don't need to, just jump into W3 Schools. You look at documentation, blogs, videos, W3 Schools, whatever you gotta do. You try it immediately in a throwaway project or online editor. Online editor is faster. If you're doing something a little bit bigger than a throwaway project, you get it to work, you get it to break, you modify it, you understand it, and then you rinse and repeat. And then real quick before I leave, in order to practice multiple concepts into one bigger project, so let's say you learn a couple things and you want to like build a bigger project, then you just go into one of these online editors and you just pretty much code, or you go and make a throwaway project and then you just start, putting things together, seeing how you can make it work together. So let's say you learn how to loop over a list and you learn how to take in user input. So then you would be like, okay, how do I make a app where someone types in user input and then it'll make a list of whatever that person types in. So stuff like that, where you just try to find ways to combine the techniques and the concepts that you learn. All right. So I hope that helps. If you need any help with anything, let me know. And yeah, hopefully this technique and this trick and this way of learning things will help you guys just blast off. I feel like you can learn React in like 3-4 months if you do it this way. If you learn the concepts, you practice it on an online editor, you watch a couple videos, but don't depend on it, don't lean on it. You only watch the videos when you need it, not when you just don't even know what you're not just watching videos aimlessly. You're watching the videos when you need it, when you have a problem. And then you take all those what you learn and build a really simple, really basic, just simple basic app, putting everything together, and then you can work on bigger and bigger things. All right, so I'll see you guys next time.